This is Tim with OLine Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Well, it's a Sunday, and we just found out not too long ago, a couple hours ago, that the CBA has been approved. That means there will be no work stoppage in football. And it's interesting because there is an interesting provision now in the CBA, which is going to allow players to be cut and have their money spread out over 2 seasons. Now, what does that mean? That means it's basically referred to as they deploy what they're calling a post-June 1st player cut. It just allows team when release a player to spread out their dead cap space over multiple years instead of absorbing it into one. And by doing it, there's a player that if we release, that we could actually save some money. And I think we're all talking about Nate Solder. Nate, if we were to release him now, we would only save $6.5 million, but we would incur $13 million in dead cap space. But if we use the post-June 1st designation, we could spread that $13 million penalty into 2021, which would save us money right now, which, of course, would increase our cap space. Now, the only problem is, do we want to release Nate? That's the big issue. Yes, per Pro Football Focus, Nate gave up 11 sacks in 19, the most of any offensive tackle, as well as 57 pressures. So that was the most of any offensive lineman. So you know what? He did not have a good season. He did not have a good 2 seasons that we've signed him. But with so many possible high-end players on the market, I mean, it's something that we may even want to take a look at because of the fact that, yes, we could potentially be without our offensive tackle. But with Conklin on the market and a couple other players and some big names in the draft, getting out of that albatross contract that Nate has may help us not only next season, but moving forward. I mean, because if you think about it, he's got 2 years left on a $62 million contract, which was the richest contract given into any offensive lineman. Now, we all know it's been a disaster of a contract. We don't know if his play was affected because of the fact that he's no longer in the Patriots system. We do know that his youngest son has medical issues and has been having medical issues for the last 2 years, so that will definitely be weighing on his mind. But the question is, if we get out of that contract and move forward, it would really allow us to have more cap space now and more cap space the following season. And like I said, we have enough problems right now in the offensive line. We don't know if John Jalapeno is going to be back because we don't know what's going on with his Achilles tendon. He's saying he's going to be back for the season, but we don't know that. Achilles tendons can take 8 months to 14 months to heal. And as someone that relies on that tendon when he has to go backwards and he's pushing off on it and pushing back on it, that could be an issue. So the question is, do we take the opportunity and dump Nate and then hope we find someone better in the free agent market, or do we hold on to him and see what happens? But like I said, he's been a $62 million disappointment now for 2 years, and I personally think let's use the post-June 1 designation. Let's save the money. We could spread out that $13 million now over into 2021. And we would save more money by releasing him now. Will it weaken the offensive line? I don't know, because of the fact that we don't know exactly, what the offensive line is going to look at until free agency starts in a couple days. But I think it may be an opportunity just to get out of that. I think just getting out of that deal is going to help the team because, like I said, I don't see him all of a sudden making a massive comeback and being the player that he was in New England because, like I said, I think he was a system player in New England the entire time. So I just think it would be an interesting prospect to think, should we dump him? Should we keep him? I personally think we should dump him, move on, cut our losses, maybe try to sign Conklin, maybe go after some lower-level free agents and see what we can get out of that. But, I mean, like I said, outside of, Zeidler, the offensive line played better in 19 than they did in 18, but like I said, Will Hernandez took a step back. Mike Remmers was okay. John H. played well at his center. He played good. I don't even say he played okay at his center position until he got hurt. But these are things that we need to take a look at as an organization. And with free agency coming up in a couple of days, like I said, I think we need to focus on improving the offensive line, improving the edge rush, improving the linebackers, finding a quality corner that could back up, or not back up, but actually help gel with our younger players and move forward on the season. Now, I know there's a connection with Nate and Joe Judge, but like I said, they're probably not going to cut him. But like I said, this is the opportunity that if we wanted to, we could get out of that albatross deal that he signed. I mean, richest contract ever for an offensive lineman at 4 years, $62 million. Oh, yeah. But you know what? Again, we're Giant fans. We're here to stay. We're excited about free agency. Let's move forward. And again, this is Tim with OLine Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And thanks for listening.